On my little quest, I guess, of reviewing the entirety of Season 9 of Death Battle, I thought, why not do the bonus episode? I've already viewed the first half. I will probably link that in the description or in a little icon somewhere. Go check that out if you're interested. But for today, we're gonna review the bonus episode. Let's get into it.
I'ma do this to them till they murder me.
Winner is Excalibur.
That's a nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
So the bonus is, of course, Excalibur versus Raiden, which is basically just a sponsored episode by Warframe. However, more of it being a sponsored episode in a second. Really, the only complaint I have with it being a sponsored episode is the fact that they dropped the trailer as soon as they got the build-up on who would win. But other than that, this is a pretty decent episode. This one does what Macho Man vs. Kool-Aid Man has failed, telling a story. Starting off with the analysis, it starts off uniquely after the frickin' Warframe trailer, with the fact that the Death Battle logo doesn't seem to be light up. And we have Wiz in front of his computer in the middle of the night, with Jocelyn and Dummy in the screen for some reason. I would like to interpret this means Wiz is keeping track of Jocelyn and Dummy, but I don't know. Then Boomstick comes out for some reason wearing two hats. Why? Hey, but goddamn if it isn't funny. As well as the computer, which looks like it's on life support. Anyways, these two start talking about, I don't know. About Boomstick waking up in the middle of the night for some reason. And then they talk about Warframe and which one is their favorite, as they say the job is basically the equivalent of making two action figures fight each other. Which is actually funny now that I think about it. But anyways, continuing on, Wiz says that his probably favorite Warframe is probably Excalibur. For a robot, apparently a one with a dramatic backstory, like a metal-like appearance, and a ninja. That just made Boomstick think of Raiden. And so Wiz starts talking about what Warframes are and how deadly Excalibur could be, with of course putting a spoiler warning on Warframe. And I like how according to this, Excalibur is centuries of years old, but biologically is a teenager. Oh my god. And when you consider the story itself, which honestly I tried paying attention to, but I kind of forgot. Because then they talk about how powerful these guys are. And talking about how each Warframe has a shit ton of weapons to pull from, including a deadly sword. So not only is he like a deadly cyborg ninja with a traumatic backstory, but he also has a shit ton of weapons he can use, with one specifically designed to cut with maximum efficiency. How could you not think of fucking Raiden? But anyways, continuing on, they keep this up about talking about how deadly these guys are, especially the fact that Excalibur has the ability to shoot out a fucking black hole, which already makes him OP. Bro, imagine shooting out black holes. And then Boomstick said what I was saying this entire time. Excalibur keeps reminding him of fucking Raiden. And And why the fuck not? Not. But, my god, is this not perfect storytelling? Honestly, see, as someone who has seen Metal Gear, I can tell ya, yeah, Raiden transitioning from this basic bitch to a fucking badass in Metal Gear Rising is pretty much a nice glow up. Though, but goddamn. Damn, is his backstory not dramatic AF? Honestly, this one kind of destroys my chances of seeing Genos vs. Raiden on Death Battle, as I do think that's the better Raiden matchup, but I digress. I did talk about it in my most wanted Death Battles, so if you're interested, I'll probably link that down below, along with my first part on Death Battle Season 9. But anyways, continuing on, they talk about how much weapon Raiden has, in which he took from members, including the staff whip combo made of arms from Mistral. Well, that's some side thing that can pull anything on, I think is from Monsoon, and as well as two swords you have that can turn to scissors from goddamn Sundowner. And of course his high frequency Muramasa, which he got from the goat himself, Jetstream Sam. That's right, I said it. Fight me. It's like, but of course, both of them are contenders for the Metal Gear GOAT. But I digress. They talk about how powerful Raiden is, his backstory, all that, his weapons, yada yada yada, including how he played around with a giant fucking Metal Gear called a Metal Gear Ray. God damn. Damn, is this... Damn. Why? And of course, they have to bring Senator Stephen Armstrong. Honestly, I don't mind him saying nanomachines and don't F with this senator, but that would have been better in a Senator Armstrong analysis, not a Raiden analysis. Though they do talk about Jack the Ripper, and that is perfect. Because that is the absolute highlight of Metal Gear Rising for Raiden. Just letting himself loose. Just letting himself kill with reckless abandon. Letting him be the cyborg equivalent of fucking Doom Guy. Now, usually they would end the analysis with the ending which he finally defeats Armstrong and worked on a philosophy on his own and fight on his own ground. But after the ending, we get Wiz and Boomstick going back and forth, which is honestly something I wish they would do more of. Just these two going back and forth at each other. They are versus debaters after all. They did that since Season 1 and 2, but after 2 and I guess 3 as well. But come on. How better would the series be if it had Wiz and Boomstick just going back and forth on who is gonna win? That would be more interesting than what we get. But Boomstick literally fucking does a calc, and he completely outdid Wiz. This guy's name is Wizard I'm Smarter Than You, and he somehow got outsmarted by fucking Boomstick. That is funny, and I fucking love it. And Ben and Chad, my god, I feel like they were literally trying to give it their all, and they succeeded. They did. They had good voices in here. Especially the fact when Wiz gets himself out-helped by Boomstick, he tries to say speed isn't everything. Whatever. But of course, Boomstick just keeps going on, and both have the best quip at each other, with Boomstick being like, do you think your Warframe can handle a pure-blooded killer like Raiden? Oh, can your Oh, and Wiz claps back with, oh, can your cyborg ninja take on a space ninja from the future? And then they drop an advertisement, yada yada yada. This part is bad because you got us hyped for no fucking reason. And then we get to the animation. Starting off with this perfect viewpoint and this weird little malfunctioning thing. Raiden drops in and finds it for some reason and then says, I don't know. And then Excalibur is there with the oh, and by the way, remember when I did Boba Fett versus Predator? I said that Nemesis liked to call fucking the Predator John Yautja. Guess what he calls Excalibur? He calls him Philip Excalibur for some reason. And then when the fight starts, Raiden says straight to the point. Metal freaks like yourself usually got a monologue first. But luckily the damn guy can't talk. It doesn't seem to understand what we're saying. Not like he cares, because he just straight up comes after him. But then that's the problem I have with the fight. It's really good action, but it's just generic. Just a lot of throwing hands swinging while these anime lines comes in. Then, Raiden pulls out the staff link combo while Excalibur is shooting at him. Then he shoots his gun. Times. And then his response of being shot with just one bullet is to slice it a shit ton of times. And then he realizes he's out of fucking ammo. Well, Raiden says infinite ammo. Okay, I know there is confirmation that this is canon, but still, why would he say that? That doesn't sound like something Raiden would say, but I digress. Excalibur then continues walking, getting like bullets, and then Raiden runs in and clobbers his ass. Then he just keeps going up, and then it's just swinging, mindless swinging this, mindless swinging that. It gets so forgettable. But the thing that happens, oh boy, Wiz and Boomstick comes into the fight, and talk about these two. And once again, Boomstick outdid Wiz when Boomstick tries to call, like, Raiden, what do you mean? He's fine, like, he just continues talking. Well, when Wiz calls Excalibur, he gets booted out. And then, but then Raiden tricks Excalibur, because of course he would, and cause him to fall. And then he summons his jetpack, and then they continue mindlessly swinging and shooting shit at each other. But then we get my one problem with the fight. The Ripper mode. Okay, so in the original game, it comes from Raiden just doesn't do it immediately. The one time he does it in the game, he literally just gets himself stabbed and asks Doctor to remove his pain inhibitors. Dude doesn't look like he has any thing that would consider an injury. And yes, he got done out a lot, but he doesn't have clear line of injury. While in the original game it comes from, it literally has reason. He has a fucking sword in his stomach. That is why he activates Ripper mode, because he feels pain. That is what activates it. And then Raiden says rules of nature, which is literally just a reference to the track of the same name, Rules of Nature. But while this isn't a music that still doesn't mean you gotta put it on here. And then Excalibur disables his high frequency blade, and then finish off with one of the most funniest. He just slices him in half, and the way it's done looks so funny. It's like, and then it's like, oh my, bruh. Honestly, yeah, the death could have been done better. But still, it's nice. And then whatever happens at the end. It's at the end. And then the conclusion comes, and that is fine. So, overall, I can't say I didn't enjoy the episode. Far from it, actually. I still wouldn't consider it one of my favorites. It's just the same problem with another death battle, Thor versus Vegeta, which is just generic fighting thing. But it is well animated, so that give it plus. But then again, that can be said for a lot of other death battles. But of course, my biggest problem is not the episode's fault itself. It's, of course, the community. Wow, so the biggest problem I have with the episode that is literally trying to tell a story instead of its usual format is the community itself. Self-responding to it is Macho Man versus Kool-Aid Man gonna be brought up into this. But of course, you can argue which one is worse, but Macho Man versus Kool-Aid Man is worse, as they literally accuse the team of being fucking monsters. Here they accuse them of being biased because it's a sponsored episode. What? Guys, your literal agreement is that Excalibur wins against Raiden. Hell, look at what Death Battle did. They put Raiden significantly lower than where the community put him. And would you look at that, he still clapped Raiden's ass. But people compare this to Yang versus Tifa, which is just a stupid comparison. Here, the problem that I have with Yang vs. Tifa is that the sponsorship was handled like fucking ass. Here, it was handled still perfectly fine. You cannot say the amount of gushing from Boomstick about Raiden is blatantly being biased towards Excalibur. Like there, where the poor handling of the sponsorship literally feels like they were biased because like I said, the way they handled the sponsorship is poor. This one is a big upgrade. And honestly, Yang versus Tifa ruined any chance of Ruby B having a good showing on Death Battle, this one had Warframe be a good option for Death Battle to tackle, even if it wasn't a sponsored episode. The animation may be generic as hell, but it's still not bad. I mean, you cannot say Excalibur has much of a character now, does he? while Raiden clearly does. But like I said, that is nowhere near how they handled Yang Tifa. No bullshit. No bullshit about how Excalibur's forms don't scale to his base, so there's no way to use them. No banner for Warframe comes up on top of Raiden's corpse, and there's no blatant bias towards either combatants. Seriously, I struggle to believe how this was blatantly biased. They literally confirmed that any death battles where the victor is determined by the sponsorship gets turned down. So seriously, who the fuck came up with this bullshit? Overall, this episode still gets itself 6 out of 10. I'm 10, but that's because Raiden was still Raiden, despite how stupid he was handled. Even Wolverine versus Raiden was handled better. But that's a blatantly unfair comparison. That episode is on a whole other level to Excalibur versus Raiden. But overall, this episode was a good bonus episode and a good episode to watch while the next half of the season comes its way. That was Excalibur vs. Raiden. Tomorrow I'll finally do the second half of Season 9. I'll see you all tomorrow.